Hi, my name is Gracie. I am a professional pole dancer. I'm lucky enough to have won a few competitions such as Miss Pole Dance Australia, Miss Pole Dance Asia Pacific, Miss Pole Dance Victoria 3 times, Victorian Pole Championships, Pole Theatre Pro Art. I can't really remember what else right now, but I'm very lucky. I also own and run my own coaching and mentor business called the Institute of Stardust, which is for athletes, artists, dancers, just general life basically. So I'm going to answer a few questions here today. I started pole dance when I was about 21, I think. I might have started like 20, but 21 properly. I'm now 30. I just turned 30. So, a few years ago, I was, I think, an intermediate level student, and I got offered a job teaching at my studio, just beginners classes, of course, because they needed an instructor. And I was like, me. So, I got a job then, which obviously opened up the ability for me to take more classes and take it more seriously, which was obviously awesome. I was a professional dancer. Being 21, I was young, and I was in that phase of either being really, really busy working and having lots of dance work, or nothing. And that's pretty normal for artists. I was told that if you have something else that you can put on your resume as a dancer, just kind of lie about it basically. It just makes you look a bit better. So like a lot of professional dancers at the time were saying, oh yes, I can do hand balancing, or I can do aerial hoop, or I can do pole dancing. But they couldn't really. They would do like one class here and there and be like, oh yeah, I've touched it before. I can say I do a fluff around that, just, like everybody does. So that's kind of why I started pole. I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty appealing to me in a general sense. So I'll go do some beginners classes, and then I can just put it on my resume as a dancer that I have experience. My life has changed because I now have a career that I have carved myself with help, and that I adore. I love it so much, and the way that it's evolving and where it's heading for me for the future is really awesome, because I got to decide that, and I got to carve it as I found myself. I got to design, and I will continue getting to design what I want to do with my life. And a lot of that is due to pole dancing and the arts and this industry being so open to that and providing opportunity for that, and for anyone who kind of just goes for it, I guess. Now I have very clear priorities and very clear things that are of value to me, such as mental health, such as fitness, taking care of ourselves, artistry, creativity, expression, validation of yourself from yourself, not from anyone else and others. Ability to create art. Isn't that amazing? I'm so lucky that I get to do that for myself and for other people. It's changed my community of people that I have around me. And pole dancing has allowed me to grow up. Pole dancing is where I grew up, because I had my 20s in pole dancing. So who you are at 20 and 30, which is pretty much the time that I've been pole dancing for, is pretty much who you decide you want to be for the next little while. I'm going to continue, as all people do, continue to find myself over the rest of the course of my life. But from 20 to 30, you really get to help define who you are as a young adult, and learn and know yourself without the fear that you used to possess when you were younger, of being yourself and standing up for yourself and knowing yourself. And so pole dancing has really in truth allowed me to do that. That's the vehicle in which I got to know myself and and learned about myself. So I could continue on about this for ages, so I'm not going to. Next question. Okay, so there's been so many. I mean, this roller coaster that we call life, and that we call particularly being an artist, a troubled artist, you know, I probably define myself in that category. There's been heaps, but I say that lovingly, right? So let's start with the biggest so I don't ramble too much. Okay, so the biggest low, oh God, how do I articulate this quickly? So there was a time a few years ago when I was in this competitive headspace and was doing lots of competitions and doing really, really well in these competitions, but I was forsaking the rest of my life. I was very quickly running out of any friends. I mean, I keep a very close, small circle anyways. I don't surround myself with a bunch of people, but I was very quickly ruining relationships just from negligence with my friends and family. I was always not going to anything, even important things like big family events. I was not going to them. And I was irritable more than usual. Really irritable, easily upset, very sensitive, and just manic, really, because I was fucking obsessed with being my best. And that sounded like the right thing to do to me. But now I know that being my best is when I'm balanced. And I still actually get no better. Like I probably get more improved when I'm balanced rather than when I have all of my energy pouring into training and obsessing over something. It is possible to like peak and then go down the other side of the hill. So this was happening to me, and I was pushing myself way too hard with everything, with training, and just obsessing over things. And I definitely think that's what happened. I pushed everyone away from me because of the obsession of a goal that I didn't even really know what it was. It was just to be fucking like, to win competitions and to get sashes and to feel like I fucking made it. Like, just, I want to feel like I'm it. I want to feel like I'm the best that I can be, and I'm someone. Okay, so how many competitions do I have to win to be someone? Okay, I thought it was one, but then I won one and I still don't feel like someone. So, okay, another one, the next one, I'll win. And then it'll be like, I have 2 titles now. So now I'm someone. And the titles kept building up, but I just kept feeling more and more like people were hating on me, and nobody liked what I was doing, and nobody liked me. And they were all laughing behind my back and thinking that I was like, you know, I didn't deserve anything. And whew. Oh, it's really hard to talk about. Oh, didn't expect that. Yeah, it was just hard. I still feel like that a lot of the time. To be perfectly honest, I still feel like that quite often, but in no way as much. No way as much, and I know how to manage it now. But that was happening to me, and then I did a competition, and I didn't get a sash. I didn't get first, second, or third, and it killed me. It killed me because I had forsaken everything else in my life, and for this one thing, and then even that I wasn't good enough for, and I was dangerously. I was at a really dangerous point. I had no self-worth left at all. I hated myself. Oh my God, what's happening? I hated myself for that. And I punished myself for that for a long time. And I would wake up crying. I would go to sleep crying. And I would literally wake up crying. I was crying in my sleep for a long time. My partner didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to be. It was horrible. It was really horrible. So obviously, I mean, I guess I'm also finding out right now that clearly what did really affect me. a lot. But let's not talk about that anymore. But that was actually the turning point for me in starting to learn about myself and find out about myself, and what I needed and what actually represented success for me. So the changing of what success means was vital in my ability to continue in anything. But also to continue like being me, you know, and finding me. So success then changed for me from having a sash and being applauded and you know, whatever, to having balance. Of course, those things are still important to me in a sense, but only in a sense now. My success needs to be defined by me, not defined by others, because I can't control them. And that's what drove me crazy, is because I couldn't control people's reactions or placings or anything like that, but I could control everything else in my life. And it fucked me up. So this, at the end of the day, all came down to where my head and my mindset was at in terms of never being good enough for myself. So, yeah, the highest point of my career, I think winning Miss Pole Dance Australia last year was. I know I've won, I'm lucky enough to have won competitions before, but this one was the elusive one that, you know, I placed like every year when I did it. I would always like come second or third. And I really, for some reason, there's some things that stand out to you that you really want. And this one, I really fucking wanted it so bad. I don't know why. It's just like, it's this holy grail that very, very few people ever get to achieve. And I wanted to be one of those people, you know? So, hello, sir. So, and that is a high point for me just because of the work I had to do to get it. I mean, obviously we work hard for every goal, but this one I, you know, just seemed elusive to me, and it meant a lot to me. And I always said to my family and friends, like when they'd be like, when are you going to quit? Like, when are you going to, you know, what are you going to do when you retire? Are you going to retire? And I was always like, okay, yes, when I win Miss Pole Dance Australia, I can say that I have achieved every goal, and then I can retire happily. Wydruka, zobacz Pawia. So yeah, being able to say that I achieved my full career. I got to the highest height for me that I had identified for myself. I did it. I did all the steps on the way. I got to the top. Yay. Level like Mario when he fucking with the flag. I did it. Cool. Level clear. Move on. My highest point got like 1 minute. My lowest point got like 8 minutes. Flack. So before pole dancing, I think in terms of health and wellness, I had it all wrong, really. I was all about restriction. I mean, I came from the world of dance. So at that time, so it was all about restriction. So it was cigarettes and coffee, and that was breakfast and lunch. And then dinner would be like something really, really small and totally not nutritious. But restriction, but that to me, that was like tick, nailed it today, you know? But I was so fucking unhealthy. So, and then obviously I would binge after that. I would go through cycles of binge eating and then cycles of complete restriction. So totally bad. But to me, that was success. Again, I suppose it's the angle of control. I was controlling it, so it was successful. So that to me has changed so much when I met pole dancing, because it requires a lot of strength to do it. It's a very, very athletic. So the beauty and the artistry and the expressive quality of dance combined with the demands of basically like acrobatics, gymnastics, athletics, you know? So I had no fucking ability ability to do any of that stuff because I was not healthy. I was either binge eating or I was either completely restricting myself. And it was this cycle of punishment and reward. So by having pole dancing introduced into my life and taking it seriously, I had to change my attitude towards that. And I changed my attitude from the way I look to what my body could do. And that was a real turning point. Having something bigger than wanting to be skinny on stage. Having something more important and bigger, then that was the only thing that was going to make me focus on actual health. By just saying, oh, you should be healthier, you should put on weight, or you shouldn't binge eat so much, was like, yeah, I know, but it wasn't that important to me. But having something saying, okay, you want to do this routine, you have to do this move, you have to do this move, you have to do it all in a row, and you have to be fit enough to do it, was like, okay, that's really important to me. I need to be able to do that. I can see myself doing that. Okay, I'm going to do what I need to do to make my body able to do that. And then it just takes this huge pressure off your shoulders, because no longer was I looking in the mirror at how I looked. I was looking in the mirror at what my body could do. It made me instantly so much happier and so much clearer on what I wanted, and takes this kind of pin out of your mind that's this punishment pin. It's completely gone, because I'm kinder to myself on okay, so why couldn't you do that deadlift today? Or why couldn't you get through your routine today? You're tired. Okay, so tomorrow you have to get through the routine. So today you're going to rest, or you're going to eat more, or you're going to eat better, or you're going to eat this type of thing, or you're going to do this type of training, or you're going to go for a run, or you're going to lift some weights, or you're going to stretch, So it was making me value what my body needed to achieve goals, rather than, okay, sure, but that photo of me, I look really fat, so I don't want to look fat in that photo. How could I let myself be like that? That's horrible. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. What does that do for your life? Like, how does that actually make your life any more valuable? It doesn't. I'd say yes. I mean, I'm not sure the total capacity in which it has helped, but of course I would say yes for anyone artists in our generation. It's probably a pretty useful thing to have. Being able to communicate with other people all over the world, and for them to see my art, for me to see their art, and for us to actually conversate. It's given me opportunities to be invited to other countries all around the world to perform and judge and compete, and particularly as well for my business, the Institute of Stardust, just having people being able to access my coaching from all over the world. So I coach people all over the world, or I choreograph for people all over the world, and have lessons online. So that is a huge component of my business, and that's what I love doing, is being able to coach and choreograph all over the world. Yo, fam, yes. But all of us, I think it doesn't matter if you're a pole dancer or a plumber, social media has negative effects on people and their mental health. So yes, comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison. For someone, I don't have super high self-esteem in the first place. So social media, when everyone is fucking perfect and way better than me at everything in life, is not the healthiest place to be on. Everyone is better than me at literally everything. So, and it's like just right there in front of me every day. So that makes it hard. I don't buy into the whole, like, how many followers do you have and stuff. And I really honestly do not care. For a moment, when I first cared about Instagram, when it first happened, I did care. And just this constant sense of panic was always sitting in me was really strange. And then I see people now to this day who may not even say that they care so much, but I can tell that they care, or they do say that they care as well sometimes. And it just gives me this yucky feeling, and I don't like it, and I don't want any part of it. So I love social media for what it has allowed and the art that it allows us to share and connect. And I love seeing people be awesome and what they're creating. But I take it very seriously that I have a line drawn in the sand to not cross when it comes to caring about followers, buying followers, asking for followers, and shout out like stuff, you know, all of that stuff. I don't care. Trying to make videos go viral and things like that. Like, nah, fam, I don't care. All I want to do is support people and brands and things that I love and care about, like products. If I'm ever, you know, saying, hey, you should try this thing, it's because I actually genuinely really like it. Or share my art. That's it. That's all I want to do. Just put it up there, and if you're interested, that's fantastic. If you're not interested, cool, great. When it comes to like the negative comments and shit like that, I don't really care. I don't care. I get them. Sometimes they stab a little bit, as anything. But like, whatever. I come from this generation where it's like, we grew up with internet trolls, grew up with MSN Messenger, man. Being bullied on MSN Messenger. Like, I'm tough. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's okay. With great love. Truly. I'm so blessed. My family's bomb. My family slaps. I love my family. And my friends. The only time they haven't supported me is when I've losing my damn mind. And that's just them looking out for me like they would for if it was me doing computer science or something else, you know? It happens to a lot of people. That's not just me, and it's not just the pole dancer thing. I think it's a young person thing. Anyone who has a family or friends or partner that doesn't support their life or their experience as a pole dancer I'm really sorry for you. And I'm here. I'm like, we'll always talk to you, always support you. And, you know, you don't have to reach out to them if they're not willing to give you the support that you need. So I understand that I am very lucky, and there are people that don't have that same experience that I have. So just know you have a family, of which I am one. Bruh. Straight up fun. Fucking sweating up in this bitch. Woo! Okay, so I said there's two forms of hater. One form is online, you know, and honestly, I don't really care. Normally, I like I said earlier, I just either laugh about it or I go, ouch, that hurts a bit, and it hurts for 10 minutes, and then that's it, you know? It's either a genuine criticism where I go, okay, yeah, you're right, or they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'd say the second type of hater is a real life hater, like a mean girl, because it's a female oriented industry. Like, mostly we have amazing men these days, more and more now, but it's generally female oriented. So we refer to them as mean girls because they're generally vicious and not mean towards your face. And it's very, very, very horrible. And something that is really important to me is to lead by example. So what can you do? You either respond and mean girl them back, or you don't do anything. I mean, there's probably a billion other options, but that's, in my mind, that's what there is. And I don't do anything. And sometimes I feel like that allows them to I guess win. But I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that, because I feel like you get stuck in there and you create this like loop for yourself where you have to continue the same behaviors and the same attitudes, and it's just like sucks, man. I mean, I suppose I was raised by boys. I have two big brothers, and so when I was growing up, showing tendencies of being a mean girl, because of course in the past when I was a teenager, you know, I would do things like bitchy things like that and say things like that and do behind girls' backs and that kind of thing. And my brothers would call me out on it. And because of them, I don't buy into that shit as an adult. So I'm very, very lucky to have had somebody when I was younger call me out on being nasty to other women behind their backs or even to their face, you know, and tell me that I'm a loser because of that. And obviously they were my big brothers. I wanted them to think I was awesome. So it meant a lot to me. And that is probably, I mean, I've never told them this, but it's probably one of the most valuable things that I learned as a young person. Don't be a bitch. Seems obvious, right? But it's just a coping mechanism for a lot of women these days. It's defensive. It's to be like that. So yeah, I think lead by example. And you gotta like yourself. If you don't like yourself, you're gonna get stuck in that trap, man. If you like yourself, if you like your life, who the fuck cares? Why you gotta prove to the person that doesn't like you anything? People always feel like they have to prove to someone that doesn't like them that they should like them. Or that I'm better than you. You don't like me, but that's okay because I'm better than you. I mean, flashback to like being 11, you know? Yeah. Remember why you started. The me that I want to be. When I think about that person, what does he or she do, and how do they act, and how do they look, and how do they feel, and what do they say, and that's the me that I want to be. Remember that. So allow yourself to know that fluctuation is normal when you're trying to create a new lifestyle or you're trying to have self-improvement. It's okay. It's actually ideal because it means that it's real life and you're genuinely changing. Do you. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to do anything. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Do you. Do what calls your name. The definition of success should change as you as a person change and grow. So don't feel like you need to decide right now what that is forever. It's for now, for who you are now. Just fucking straight up, just slam dunk on everyone. That should be at the end of the video, just like in a quotation, straight up slam dunk on everyone. I mean, that's all. That's it. Deal with it.